I'm Ivan Caballero. I'm the CEO and founder of Citibeats, a startup founded in Barcelona 2 years ago. And Citibeats is helping more than 50 companies and governments worldwide to understand what matters to people in real time so they can react faster and more efficiently. We see a world where data is increasingly exponentially. In the last 5 months, the world has exponentially increased its digitalization, like if today is 2025. This digitalization brings huge amounts of unstructured data, and it's mainly text. So the problem that we find is that not knowing late, or having biased knowledge is costing lives, time, and money. And citizens are paying the bill. So, for example, Accenture reports that an estimated impact is more than 6 trillion worldwide. And the thing is that the most extended way to understand all this text is through manual processes. Citibeats is using unstructured data to scientifically identify trends faster than media, increase the coverage of surveys at a fraction of the cost, helping organizations manage emerging risk and deliver early warning on critical issues. As an example, we help with real-time information worldwide organizations like Inter-American Development Bank to make more informed decisions during this multi-phase global pandemic. Last May 22nd, we used social early warning signs to react 14 days earlier to New York Times breaking news, who was announcing hunger problems in Colombia and Venezuela neighborhoods. As a result, IDB could respond faster and more efficiently, saving lives. And how does it work? We have built and scaled a proprietary platform based on NLP and machine learning, designed to understand any type of text in any language. We collect any type of text data, process it through our pipeline, and provide answers through alerts, API, dashboard, or automated reports. And let me explain you a little bit about our capabilities. So with a pipeline of more than 8 proprietary algorithms, is allowing us to be in the state of the art in categorization, clustering, intent analysis, bias detection, or geolocation from text. Citibeats has been designed strictly ethically. So we define ethics under 3 pillars: privacy of the user, data bias detection, and use case applications. And we have teams totally dedicated to build on top of these 3 pillars. And let me explain how we launched a COVID perception observatory in 48 hours to structure and process all the internet text data of 26 countries in Latin America and Caribbean in collaboration with IDB. In a pandemic situation where social reality changes in minutes, speed with accuracy is key to respond properly. IDB asked us to provide a public real-time monitor so citizens, startups, and companies could be empowered through access to unstructured information about their local needs. We created a public monitor structuring 13 categories affecting citizens, like family, economy, health, perception of government decisions. So anyone could use this open data to create services and solutions to relieve the pains of the pandemic. The results: 5 million critical social needs detected, 11 days earlier than news media outlets, 11 data sources provided by individuals and companies, and 7 initiatives based on our open API. So in only 2 years, we have implemented more than 50 projects worldwide in collaboration with more than 25 partners like Accenture, Entity Data, or Everest. Our gender balance team of 20 people includes 8 nationalities. 60% of the members are outstanding software and data engineers with experience in the best companies worldwide. And our vision of setting a standard in creating an ethical single entry point of society data in governments and companies, it's been validated and recognized by industrial leaders like Entity Data, SAP, United Nations, or Twitter. So with a 2 million seed round, we have built and scaled our platform based on proprietary NLP and machine learning technology while growing a robust customer pipeline. Right now, we are raising a Series A to expand our business in Europe and Latin America and scaling the United States progressively. We are unlocking the value of unstructured data to power a responsive society. If you want to make an impact, join us with your talent, with your projects, or happy to get even your money. Happy to speak after the Q&A. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Ivan, and thanks for being right on time, I would say. And if you have any questions from our experts today, just enable your video so that I know that you have questions. Any question from Bruce, from Marta? Yeah, we have Marta. So yes. Please, Marta, go ahead.
I just want to ask Ivan if you were one of the winners of the World Summit Award back in 2015 or 16, I guess.
Yeah, we were winner twice. So
okay.
I think it was in 2015 and 2017.
It was in Singapore, I guess. Okay, so yeah. I know about your product, and I can see the huge progress you have done since then. So I'm really proud of what are you doing. I don't have any other questions for the moment. Thank you. I was just curious.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, please, Jijen, go ahead.
Thank you, Iman, for your presentation. It's really clear. I know how difficult it is to parse and structure data to come to a sense and to a clear message. I have two questions on that. One on knowing how challenge. So, what the message is very much depend on the input, the quality of the data, and the diversity of the data. I know in my experience that I have seen that that can be depend on where you are estimating which country. So the historical data can be very different, and that could means in terms of scale up to multiple setting, and that ensuring high quality data access to high quantity of data not be guaranteed in all setting. So what do you think about that's one? That's the first question. Number two is also not really about privacy itself, because there are ways to get around with identity of the individual. But some of the social media I've seen you work with, like Twitter and Facebook, and I also work with Facebook with their data initiative. They open up some API for analysts for social good, but then with so many concern around access to data, and especially social media data, how do you make sure that people are not feel being exploited for the use of their data? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much for your questions. Really interesting ones. Yeah, in terms of data, that's a huge thing. So we work with let's say 3 types of data. One is data that is public, that it's in the internet, like comments in news, blog posts, etc. And we collect it, we anonymize it, and then we input it into the models. Second is data through partnerships, like for example with Twitter. So we are Twitter enterprise partners. So we can collect any tweet from any moment in any place, and we collect it, anonymize it, and put it into models. And third is data which is proprietary from customers. So for example, we can work with phone call transcriptions from a government, you know, the civic, civic attention phone call transcriptions, for example, or CRM notes. So with these 3 types, we normally find models that we can identify the bias and then normalize it to provide an accurate insight. And and if there is not enough data, sometimes we generate the data. So we create an app that immigrants can use it, and then with that data, we explain them that we are going to use this data for these models and to help, and then they are happy to provide it. Second question, we are working with. For example, with Facebook, we are in conversations right now under a concept which is called federated analytics, which is, okay, we take our technology, we put it on premise, so all Facebook data can pass through Citibeats and can be structured in numbers. So it can be provided as an open data source, which is the same that we did with Inter-American Development Bank. So any NGO or any organization can use it and then can create services and can help in any way to society. Hope I answered everything.
Great, thank you so much.
So my questions are, in terms of go-to-market, what stakeholder does your biggest buyer come from, the person paying for your service? And secondly, similar to the last question, I really love your solution, it's incredible. Oshahidi from Uganda did similar thing and they've been able to avert earthquakes because of this, right? So it's a great solution type. But I wonder, what's the worst thing you're scared of people can do with your technology? You've probably not solved it today, but how are you thinking about, what frameworks are you using to think about protecting against that thing happening in 2 to 5 years?
Okay, yeah, go to market, pretty simple. So we are a software as a service, B2B, and we normally scale through partners. We don't sell normally directly. Types of stakeholders are chief data officers in financial services and in public sector. So that means that it's national governments or multilateral organizations. This will be like our universe, which for us is more than a market segment, a total addressable market of more than 6 billion. Okay, and second, how do we see everything in 2 years? So we really see that, as I will explain, in the future is coming to us. So we really believe that this type of technologies need to be very transparent. So any data needs to be entered properly, and the output of this type of technology should be somehow bringing some value to society. So what we see and the future that we see for Citibeats in the near time is creating automated solutions for identifying which are the initiatives that that are impacting in society to the problems that we are detecting, and giving them visibility. So creating like let's say a way of creating call to actions and empowering society, so people somehow can understand the problems and act towards them with suggestions of solutions. Hope that answered also.
So we have another question from Bruce. Please go ahead. Bruce, I think you're on mute. Yeah.
Sorry. So my question is, what's your biggest challenge in finding the data you need to improve your models and to get the analytics?
Yeah. Okay. Biggest challenge, we are working in it, which is bias. When you are doing a model only based on Twitter, you will have like more representation normally of men, and with certain ages. So what we are doing is creating some real time that are identified, so we can normalize the model. This is one of the biggest challenges, and we are working very hard on that. Second is finding the data. When you work with vulnerable communities, for example, with limited access to internet, then sometimes we need to do surveys, and then we need to bring the surveys, put them into digital, and then we can create models that can contemplate these communities. I would say these are like the 2 main challenges. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ivan. I think judges are done now. We're a bit tight on time, but I see some questions coming to you, so you can actually answer this question by writing if you want in the Q&A. But I'll just pick the first one I see right now. It's for Citibeats, asking, how do you filter information? What sources do you collect information from? If you would like to answer that.
Yeah, we collect multiple data sources. So I would say we work with Twitter, for example. We work with other social networks. We work with data that we collect from internet. We work with data which is proprietary from the customer. For example, we did an amazing project in Kenya, in Swahili, processing all the CRM transcriptions from a regulator in order to help them investigate which were like the lack of service to the bottom of the pyramid population. So we are working with multiple data entries.